Singapore's economic refresh includes plans to build a more agile economy. This means workers need to adapt more quickly to change. Proposals outlined include creating what's called career bridges to help workers in at-risk roles transition to more stable jobs, plus improving the quality and appeal of jobs in AI-resilient sectors like social services and allied health. Claudia Lim reports.
Jishnu A. Salapan first entered the built environment sector a decade ago. A strong interest in the field led him to join a prefabrication firm while enrolling in IT's Work-Study Diploma or WSD.
So I actually learned a lot of skills. The Work-Study Diploma has gotten me a lot of technical skills, problem solving and teamwork. So for example, for the problem solving, whenever I face issues at my work, I'll bring back to the school or my lecturers or my classmates where they will share their experience and give me some suggestions to solve my problems.
Within a year, Jishnu was promoted to supervisor. He took on greater responsibilities, overseeing a small team and supporting project planning and execution. Jishnu's journey is an example of a structured pathway the committee wants to expand. That's especially to support job pipelines towards AI-resilient sectors like healthcare and early childhood education. This comes as Singapore moves away from relying on lower costs, lower skilled labour and focuses on improving productivity. Amid concerns that some roles could be displaced by technology, the committee is urging firms to adopt strategies that complement workers and create clearer pathways to transit into more resilient roles.
We're still trying to figure out how AI is going to impact jobs. What we hope to do is to ensure the education system evolves to teach us the skills that we truly need in the AI world. And then when it comes to the workforce, I'll urge the companies to think with a bit of a longer-term view in terms of what does that mean for internal talent development.
The labour movement says it will focus on translating these shifts to tangible improvements, while calling for workers to get stronger support during transitions. The Singapore National Employers Federation has also encouraged firms to give earlier notice of layoffs to help affected workers find new jobs sooner. It's also stepping up advisory services to better inform employers on responsible retrenchment.
The committee also urges Singapore to rethink its hub status beyond one which flows past to one where flows are financed and governed. This to strengthen its economic resilience by diversifying risk and building buffers to bounce back quickly in times of disruption.
For goods, this means strengthening our sea and air hubs, not just through more capacity, but through greater reliability, digitalization, specialization, integration, and coordination. For capital, Singapore must go beyond being a destination for funds. We must be a place where capital is raised, structured, deployed, and managed across the region and beyond.
Doing so would mean that even if cargo doesn't pass through Singapore ports, decisions about that trade can still be made here. DPM Gan adds that the country should also deepen and expand networks with like-minded economies. Along with other recommendations, he says Singaporeans can look to the future with confidence. A full report by the committee is expected to be ready by end May. And for more, we are joined by Rajiv Biswas, who is the CEO of Asia Pacific Economics. Rajiv, the recommendations talk about focusing on imperatives like where we can create hard-to-replicate advantages, enhancing agility, and building resilience with efficiency. Are these just buzzwords, or what exactly are we aiming for here?
Singapore is facing a very challenging medium-term global economic environment due to the impact of geopolitical turmoil that we've seen in the last 3 or 4 years, particularly the latest conflict in the Middle East, and also tremendous disruptive change from the AI revolution. So in order to address these challenges, the Singapore Economic Strategy Review aims to create a roadmap to help to make Singapore much more competitive to these tremendous shocks. And a key new recommendation in the final report recommendations is to improve energy resilience and supply chain resilience. And that's very much due to the impact of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, and how that has tremendously disrupted supply of oil and gas, and also many downstream petrochemical products that are vital for East Asian manufacturing. So I think one of the key focuses and important imperatives from this latest set of recommendations is energy resilience, and to try to make that a high priority to improve the geographic diversity of energy supply sources, and also to create new diversity in the types of energy that will fuel the economy in the future. So energy security has really risen to the top priority to strengthen the resilience of the nation.
Now, from your perspective, do you see the recommendations as a continuation of Singapore's economic model, or is it a real reset?
I think the objective of the economic strategy review is really to build on the strong foundations that have made Singapore such a successful economy by global standards. And of course, those foundations include a very strong logistics hub, a leading international financial center of the world, and strong manufacturing competitiveness in areas such as semiconductors manufacturing and also pharmaceuticals manufacturing. And there are, of course, many other strengths to Singapore's economy, but the objective is to try to find new growth industries that will drive the future growth of Singapore's economy and build on those existing strengths. And some of those areas are areas such as quantum technology, space technology, and also AI solutions to make sure that AI revolution is being absorbed into all different sectors of Singapore's economy. So I think that is the sort of focus of the recommendations to keep Singapore a leading edge economy in a time of tremendous change in the world economy due to geopolitical risks and also due to the AI revolution, which is creating tremendous disruption in many industry sectors.
Now, talking about tremendous change, the recommendations are meant to shape the direction of Singapore's economy in the next 5 to 10 years. But given that how quickly the global economic landscape has been changing in the last few years, are these recommendations likely to become obsolete at some point?
I think we're facing a world of very rapid technological change and also, as we've seen, a much more fragmented, multipolar global order. So that does mean that there will be rapid changes in the 5 to 10 years ahead. And I think any set of recommendations obviously needs to continue to be a living, working document that continues to be adapted in the face of changes. So I think at the moment, these recommendations create a very strong framework for the immediate policy reforms that are needed to help to keep Singapore dynamic and competitive. But of course, these will need to be adapted over time in the face of the disruptive change that we're seeing that is happening at a very rapid pace in many industries worldwide.
But from an economist's point of view, which recommendations are most likely to become policies, and what form do you see them taking?
I think the immediate policy priority due to the energy crisis that has resulted from the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is energy resilience, because I think energy resilience at the moment is fundamental to the national economy and to maintaining competitiveness in terms of Singapore's position in the world. So I think near-term policy focus will be on improving energy resilience. That's already underway, and I think that involves more geographic diversity in sourcing of oil and gas, and also of petrochemical downstream products. And I think it also involves building new partnerships with trusted partner countries, particularly in the Asia-Pacific region, but also with other partners worldwide, to ensure resilience of the Singapore economy. And an example has been recent agreements between Singapore and Australia, and also Singapore and New Zealand, which will help to create more resilience for energy supply chains and also for food security in the face of these tremendous global disruptions caused by the conflict in the Middle East.
Rajiv, thank you very much for your insights. We've been speaking to Rajiv Biswas. He is the CEO of Asia Pacific Economics. Thank you.